Alright, today we're going to talk about unwrapping. Unwrapping is done in every 3D program, and it's ultimately taking the 3D object that you're making and unfolding it, much similar to printing out a cardboard box before you fold the box up. When unwrapping, you have several goals. First is to pack all of your UVs in the one-on-one system. Next is to create identifiable islands. Islands are basically small sections of your model, like an arm or a head or torso on a character model. Another goal is to reduce stretching. Stretching basically distorts the 2D texture on the UV map surface, thus causing distortions in the texture. Even spheres have stretching on the default UVs. Another thing is seams. You want as minimal amount of seams as possible. That doesn't mean you have to have just one unwrap, but you want to basically minimize the number of seams. Makes it a lot easier to texture, and you have a lot less to deal with, especially with normals. All right, the next thing is we need to know how to do this. So in order to do this, the biggest mistake I see right off the bat is that students think that this using auto unwrap is the best solution you can get, and that's because they don't understand why they're doing it or what they're doing. So they use the auto unwrap and they don't realize that it's just projections of 6 different sides according to angles, and it blows apart the mesh. A lot of times it doesn't pack properly. A lot of times it creates islands that don't really make sense. So with that said, I start unwrapping usually with an auto unwrap. The reason I do it is because it breaks everything apart and it shows me everything flattened out. I often use it to just start my mesh. Next, I use my primitive polygons. My primitives, when unwrapping, basically allows me to quickly unwrap a lot of space really quick. If I want to unwrap a leg, all I have to do is select all the vertices in the leg and use a cylindrical unwrap, and it move my seam around until I have a good place for it, and then hit unwrap. Next, I use cutting, sewing. Cutting and sewing is often selecting an edge or a couple of edges and then sewing it together, or breaking things apart using the cut tools or the break tools in 3ds Max. Relaxing the geometry basically allows you to create more squared aspects of your UV mesh. The square is when you put a grid on it. The square is what you want to get in the end. The easiest way to do that sometimes is relaxing elements. That's not always the great way to do it, especially for hard surface objects, but it's a good start. Once you're done unwrapping all your islands, you need to pack it back in the 1x1 space. Anything outside of the 1x1 space will repeat the texture. You can use the auto pack feature on most 3D softwares, and it will fill the most amount of space that you need. So your goal is to have as little empty pixels as possible. I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.